A topic I wanted to bring here on the channel for quite a long time is tech conferences. And last week I was at Codemotion, so what a better chance to bring the topic today. If you follow me on this channel, you know that I usually share tutorials and technical stuff, but there's another huge part of our development world that I discovered just a few years ago, that is tech conferences. And I think that's a really important part as it opens up way new opportunities, way new ways of thinking that by just focusing on the tech alone you would miss, and that would be really a shame. So while I'm still wearing the conference badge, let me tell you why you should go at that kind of large tech events, what to expect, what are the pros and unfortunately the cons. And to begin with, the biggest advantage, the coolest thing to do there is to meet people. That sounds weird, it's a technical conference, there's people on the stage talking about tech, but the biggest value is talking to people. So even if you're an attendee, you're in the audience, you're gonna have the chance to meet so many amazing people. I think at Codemotion this year we were like 2,000 attendees in the same area, so there's really plenty of people to meet. Even though this seems counterintuitive, like we are developers, we usually don't like talking with people, but talking with people at tech conferences is not the same as daily stand-ups, scrum meetings, or whatever. It's just a completely different experience. And among 2,000 people, you're gonna find for sure someone interesting to interact with. And the cool thing is that these large events are usually specifically designed not only to deliver great content, awesome talks, interesting topics are gonna get there, but they're also designed to help you meet people. And one of the coolest things I like about Codemotion is that they have the tech expert booth. It's basically some tables with tech experts on some specific techs. But the cool thing is that you can just go there, talk with them about, well, the conversation might begin about their specific tech, be it React, be it Rust, be it machine learning, whatever. But you go there, you start talking with them about the topic you both care about. But then someone else might join. You might also join the conversation of someone else, and even there, keep interacting and sharing opinions. And that's already a great way of meeting new people. As I didn't mention in the beginning, I usually go at these kind of conferences with friends I met at work or friends I met at other conferences. But even if it's the first time you go alone, you're gonna find plenty of ways to make new friends. And the cool thing is that, especially in this kind of large conferences, you're gonna keep finding the same faces again and again, and you're gonna strengthen your relationships and you're gonna become friends. So you have friends at tech conferences. And you never know how much value you might actually get from these kind of interactions. To be honest, I think the biggest value you get by talking with people at tech conferences is simply seeing the world from their own point of view. You work in your company, you talk with your colleagues, so you're kind of in a bubble, which is fine, it's inevitable. But hearing from other developers, other product managers, other people in the tech industry, or even not specifically in the tech industry, gives you a much wider range of knowledge and points of view, which can help shaping your own opinions about stuff. And really, there are no downsides to that. The more you know, the better. But in theory, the biggest selling point of conferences should be the technical topics. So you go there, there's a schedule with a lot of interesting talks. But the thing is, sure, you can get hard skills from a technical talk. You get an expert on stage talking about something they like, something they studied. But I think the biggest takeaway from, well, most of the technical talks is not learning a new syntax, learning a new tech, or being ready to use that specific tech right away, but rather getting inspired. So there are inspirational talks that are just getting inspired, and that's fine. But I believe that most of the technical talks are not exactly tutorials or courses or masterclasses. If the speaker has 30 to 40 minutes to talk about something, you're not supposed to get out of the talk with already deep understanding of the topic. But since you heard someone talking about that for half an hour, for 50 minutes, you now have that spark, that curiosity that pushes you to try that thing by yourself, studying it even better, and then getting real world experience. But the idea is that during the talk, you heard keyword, you look at some specific things that make your brain think about that, try to understand kind of the idea what is going on. And then when you get home, you spin up your laptop and you try that thing yourself. And I think that's the biggest value. So I'm not expecting to actually learn a new thing when I'm going to a technical talk, but I'm expecting to get inspired, get some more curiosity on that specific topic, so that when I do the research myself, I'm not just wandering around with no idea what I'm looking at, but they actually have some kind of pointers, some kind of guidance that I acquire by attending the session so that I can learn much faster and with much more interest about that specific thing. Another huge advantage of large tech conferences like that is that the keynotes are usually held by some really interesting people. For example, in day 2 of Codemotion, we had on stage one of the co-founders of GitHub, Scott Chacon, talking about the why of things. And hearing successful stories from the people who actually made it is usually a great source of inspiration. Try to understand what their thought process were when they did the thing, like founding GitHub, and try to grasp some advices that we can immediately apply to our own career. And the coolest thing is that it's not a YouTube video. That person, the real person, is there at the conference. And if you're lucky, you might even have the chance of meeting them, shaking their hands, and having maybe a quick conversation. But that's a really cool thing. There's real people talking with real people. And especially in the era of AI and AI generated content, having the chance of shaking hands and meeting people in real life gets more and more value over time. But not everything is as good as it might be. And the biggest thing I don't like at large conferences is when they have too many tracks, which, I mean, is intentional and inevitable. But for example, when there are like 7 different tracks, I don't know which one to attend, which is kind of a happy problem. I know it's cool to have so many options. You don't know which one to pick because they're equally valuable. But feels sad that, for example, in a time slot, there are 3 different sessions I want to attend, but I can only attend one. And even though sometimes there are recordings, yeah, let's be honest, the cool thing is being there and hearing it there in person. There are so many YouTube videos about the other topics, so it's kind of hard that I catch up the recording. But that might be me because I'm lazy. So if there are recorded session at conferences, just watch them. I watch many recorded sessions on YouTube, but mostly of conference I did not attend for whatever reason. But when there are multiple tracks and I have to skip some talks, as I said, I'm lazy. I usually don't catch them up. But you should, but you really should. So keep an eye when there are recorded sessions, and that can help you mitigate the thing that you have to choose. If there's a recording, just attend one live and watch the recording of the others later. Now, speaking about people, when there are too many people, it might also be a problem. Luckily, these kind of venues are usually huge. So if you stay next to the speaker rooms, it's a lot crowded, but there's usually a lot of open spaces on the outside. So if you want to take some fresh air and breath and not be stuck inside the crowd, there's always some kind of space and room to do that. But the bad thing is that when there's so many people and you want to meet someone in particular, you have to text them and say, hey, I'm at room A, where are you? And let's meet. Otherwise, it happened to me even this year that I wanted to meet a couple people, but I just didn't find them in the venue. So be prepared. That's also an advice people constantly say. Share on LinkedIn or on your social that you're going to be at a conference so that your friends and people who want to meet you know that you're going to be there, so that you can arrange a meeting, set a specific place in the huge venue to meet, and you don't miss the opportunity to meet your friend. Then in the downsides, we had the travel time and the ticket cost. Large conferences usually have kind of high prices in the tickets, but if you already know that you're going to a conference, make sure to keep an eye in advance, as usually you have early bird tickets that are way cheaper than the final price. And also travel and hotels and apartment expenses are usually lower if you just plan in advance. So wrapping up, going to large tech conferences, yep, highly recommended. You know what to expect, you know the pros and the cons. So just go there and most importantly, have fun because these kind of events are for working, are for networking, are for hard skills, but also just have fun because why not? We're here to meet people and enjoy yourselves at conferences. Now, this video was about large tech conferences. As I mentioned, I was at Codemotion last week. I will be at GitHub Universe next week, which is also a huge conference. But the world of tech events is made of large, extra large, but also medium and small events, conferences, and meetup. And I think they deserve an entirely different video. So, what do you think? I will probably record one maybe next week, as I also attended a couple small conferences this month. Well, medium to small conferences. And on one I was also speaker, so there's a lot I want to say. And, well, it might be the next video, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching this one. Go to the conferences, enjoy, and see you in the next video. Oh, and wait. And see you maybe at tech conferences. Follow me on LinkedIn. I always see you when I go around, so let's meet in person. In a couple of weeks, I'll be at the DevFest in Pescara, so see you there. Thanks again for watching, and well, just see you soon. Bye.